Welcome to Blue Talks.
How many of you would like to have more energy to take action in your life? Yes. My name is Amy Ballantyne, often referred to as the Energizer Bunny, asked how many cups of coffee I've had in the day, and if I was a cheerleader. The answer is none to the coffee and yes to the cheerleading. And today, I'm excited to take you on a timeline. And I invite you to think about what resonates with you. As we begin, please visualize with me the most recent brand new baby you've seen. Maybe it's your own child, maybe it's a friend or family's child, or maybe it's a picture of a beautiful little sweetheart on social media. Aww. As these human children develop, they are celebrated for everything. The moment you first smile, the people looking at you, their eyes lit up with that celebration energy, and you were rewarded with that. The moment you held your first spoon, the moment you pushed yourself up, the moment you took your first step, you were recognized and celebrated with that energy of joy. And then we traveled down the timeline, and you were celebrated for peeing on the potty. You were celebrated for learning to talk, learning to read, all of these moments in our development, intellectually, socially, emotionally, and you were celebrated along the way. And then we traveled down the timeline somewhere around the age of 9 or 10, maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later. And the words you hear this time are, you don't want to brag. You don't want to sound like a show-off. Or maybe you overheard someone you trusted saying, that person thinks they're so great, what a show-off. Such a big head. And so you stop. Because you don't want to have those labels. You don't want to be those things. You don't want to be that person. My friends, this is a stark contrast to all of these positive moments now having such a negative connotation. And I deeply believe that we were never really taught how to celebrate ourselves for ourselves. And this is why I'm so excited to be here today to share with you why I believe it is so critical that we strengthen the muscle of celebration, how that can be used as fuel, and how that can change our life. I am not suggesting that we become chest-thumping, self-obsessed, or haughty as individuals. There will always be a place for humility. But this message is for those people who have felt less. When they look at their day, nothing is worth celebrating. I want to share a story with you of a young woman, busy, new to being a wife and mother, beautiful little children. She's taking care of her household, her babies, taking care of all the requests of her husband, volunteer initiatives, building her part-time business. And everyone around her would say, wow, I don't know how you do it all. You make it look so easy. And what they didn't see were the moments when she was tearing herself apart, beating herself up, crying in the bathroom, You see, for this young woman, her understanding of value that she learned came from how much money she could earn. And she no longer was earning that kind of money, and so she felt less valuable, not enough. My friends, there is no question for me that gratitude played a role in her coming out of these dark times. But it was actually the power of celebration that helped this young woman to realize that new levels of growth were possible for her. She had a conversation in a safe space with a trusted friend. And this friend shared a moment of her own celebration. She wasn't bragging. She wasn't boastful. She was just sharing her heart. She was sharing her joy. And this was the inspiration the young woman needed to realize that her actions, all of her actions, were valuable. If she could do it, so could she. And so, when I talk about building the muscle of celebration, I talk about being present in our life, being honest with ourselves, seeing our actions, all of our actions, and recognizing them as valuable, and connecting to the positive feelings it elicits to notice. My friends, I know the power of celebration because this story is my own. I call this being plugged into life, being plugged into our own life, not that on social media. And I am not suggesting that we throw a party or we hand out ribbons every time we move the needle in our lives. But I want you to think about the last time someone said something kind to you. Someone recognized you. It felt good, right? The challenge is, my friends, we are not those young children anymore receiving that recognition and celebration. It doesn't happen as often as adults. We are responsible for creating this celebration feeling for ourselves. This is the key. I want you to think about your goals. Maybe it's that you want to move your body more this week. Maybe you want to reach out and connect to friends and family. Maybe it's you want to write a book. When you are feeling generally positive, happier, good vibes, it's easier to take action, right? That is the power of celebration energy. This is why it is so important that we develop this muscle of celebration so we are not counting on that external recognition, validation, and celebration from the outside, that we can find it for ourselves. This is the key. My friends, I want to share with you when I start coaching calls with my clients, the first question I ask is, what are we celebrating today? I am creating this safe space to practice. And trust me, because we heard these words of, you don't want to brag, this feels very foreign to them. So when I ask them that question, they usually look at me and say, I don't know. I can't think of anything worth celebrating. What if I asked you right now? What comes to mind? Nothing? I deeply believe that we have the opportunity to recognize these micro moments in our life. We get to, not have to, should, or need to, but get to celebrate these moments. And my friends, these celebrations can be anything. Celebrating that you took your supplements for 3 days in a row and you feel awesome. Celebrating that the moment you first wake up, the first thought you're thinking is that of gratitude for a new day. Celebrating that you had a healthy meal yesterday or chose healthier snacks, or celebrating that you decided to put down your phone and be present for one moment more than you ever have been with your kids. I deeply believe that we discount so many of these beautiful life moments. And I invite us to take the practice of placing a hand on our heart in these moments and saying, yeah, way to go. Look at me. I'm celebrating me. I invite us to do this. The other component that I am creating for these clients of mine is a safe space to share. It is safe to recognize yourself. It is safe to celebrate. It is safe to feel joy. You will not be judged here. Because what brings you joy has nothing to do with me at all. Nothing. And it is my goal to inspire more people to create spaces where we can celebrate without fear of judgment. This is the key. And my friends, it requires us to be present for that person and leave our baggage and our stuff and our stories out of the mix. And we get to feel their pure enthusiasm that is so joyful. This, my friends, is where my natural cheerleader comes out. It is a win-win vibe, my friends, to share that safe space and to feel and be witness to their joy. We get to be that safe space for others. We get to develop the muscle of celebration. This is our opportunity. I have to share the turkey story with you. I had a client share with me that she was feeling really stressed and frustrated and pressured over the holidays. Now, there are lots of reasons why we can feel stress and pressure over the holidays, yes? And for her, it was the knowledge that she should make the turkey soup after dinner. And she was really beating herself up, really angry at herself, because the bones from the previous holiday were still in the freezer, and she should make a soup out of those first. I'm not going to go into the details of her coaching call with you, but what I will tell you is the most important part of this story is the message that she sent me after saying, I am celebrating me for throwing out the should and the turkey bones. And she felt so great because she was no longer going to put this kind of pressure on herself around the holidays. I had another client message me and say, I am celebrating because I was so aware that I celebrated without you. Yeah. That's fueling too. So not only did she take the action she desired to take of being present with her daughter. She was present with her daughter, and that she celebrated the moment. Whew. That fires me up. When I talk about strengthening the muscle of celebration, what I mean is being present in our life, being honest with ourselves, being really honest, seeing our actions, all of our actions, recognizing them as valuable and connecting to the positive feelings it elicits to notice. Feels good. We want to feel that good feeling, and this is the fuel. The compound effect of this is the fuel to keep us taking action in our life. This is the fuel. Just like we can spiral down with negative energy, we can raise up with positive fuel. My friends, this is the moment we get to be our own cheerleader. Our own cheerleader, where we can shift the voice that usually pushes us down to be the one that lifts us up. And there is so much power in that. I deeply believe that learning to build this muscle of celebration can change our lives. Starting today, starting now, we can be that safe space for another human being, to allow them to connect to those moments, to allow them that safe space to share and to feel that joyful energy. Beginning today, we can choose to develop that muscle of celebration for ourselves, to be present with those moments, to feel those moments, to place a hand on our heart and to say, either out loud or in our hearts, I am celebrating me.